Hey there, hope you're doing well. I play Texas Hold'em occasionally. It's been a while, but a couple of days back, last week, and actually I felt like playing. It was a long time, so I just want to catch a break. I went and played some poker. As somebody who's played poker over the years and is a pretty mediocre player, if I'll admit, but I enjoy the game immensely. I don't play anything else. I've never played anything else at a casino. Just to share an example, we were in Vegas many years ago, and when we checked into the Venetian, they gave us like my wife and I would, I don't know if our memory serves me right, about $75 to play any table game during the course of our stay there. I think 10 days later, we just handed them back the $150 because we and other people we can play. We've played nothing else, and we cannot see ourselves play anything else if at all. So poker is the only game that I actually do play when I'm at a casino. So with that, just quick background. Poker. I don't know if you're a poker player. If you are, this video might resonate with you. If you're not, you can just do something else. To be honest, because the examples are very tightly coupled to poker. Whether you're playing tournament or cash games, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of difference between the two. But let's taking poker in totality, not separating the formats. It teaches you a number of things. I think, and I think a lot of other poker players do agree. It teaches you patience, immense. You need immense amount of patience. You have to go through the grind because when you're starting to play and you get some good hands, you get pocket rockets all the time. It's different, right? The game seems suddenly easy, or you flop a set, or there's a straight, and things are, it seems like it's the easiest thing to do. Why should we do anything else other than just play poker and make easy money? But that's few and far between, if you know what I mean. Most of the time, you actually you have to grind. You're sitting there for several hours, trying to understand the players or at the table, playing them many, many hands, watching many, many, many more hands. Hopefully, you're not seeing most of the flops. You're just seeing it without being in the hand at least. It takes a lot of patience. So it teaches you patience, I think unquestionably so. If we can take the patience that poker teaches and you can apply that to other aspects of life, as folks who also play poker, I think it'll hold us in great stead. So that's one thing it teaches. The other thing is, I'll take an example and talk about, try to draw an analogy. It's not manufactured. I'll be honest with you. It's very real, at least in my mind. I saw a player, one of the players was at the table. He played, I was there, for many hours at the same table. And typically people settle in, try, you're not popping in and popping out because not everybody, and most of the time, at least unless you enjoy the game seriously. So you want to understand the table, the people, and the whole nine yards. So much like me, the other player, he was at the table for a while. He was playing very well, a whole lot better than I was playing. Uh, but let me take a very specific hand as an example. So well, at least to the extent of what I remember of the hand, I'm not one of those poker players who can, remember it to the T and explain it to people days after. But this is what transpired, at least the gist of it. So I was not in the hand, so I was able to watch it. There's three people who were playing the hand pre-flop. There was a bet. I think I was playing 2-5 table. That the pre-flop, the bet was like I think $75. Uh, there was a two bet. Someone re-raised it to like I think $300, and then the third player, the player we are talking about, went I think almost all in. I don't know. I think it was all in, or it was a much larger bet. It was upwards of like $800. $800. So it was a four bet, right? I think it's a four bet essentially. One, yeah, I think it's a three bet of I think it's a four bet, right? It was a fourth raise, because he went all in. I think he had raised initially and then re-raised at some point. Uh, to the flop, right? So it's a big pot building up already. So it's quite exciting for the rest of us to watch it. And it's relaxing and exciting because you're not in the hand, you're not in the pot. You don't stand to gain or lose. Um, I think on the flop, there was like, when there's a 3-4 bet on a pre-flop, it's like pocket pairs and not only like low pocket pairs, you're talking like queens, kings, or aces generally. So there's three of them. When the last person re-raised it, all in, and the other two actually called behind. One of them was all in as well, and then one of the other players had more chips, so he was not all in, but he called it. When you're doing that, you're wondering who has the pocket aces here. Somebody's got to have pocket aces, hopefully. But if you don't have it, should you be calling or not is a different topic, different discussion altogether. Depends on a variety of factors. But long story short, they go to the flop. The flop was ace, ace, and 7, if I remember correctly. So when there's 2 aces on the flop, it's unlikely somebody had even, forget pocket aces, even one of them, because it's very, there's 4 in a deck. What are the odds that someone's holding 2 to have quads on the flop? It's possible, but the numbers become really, really small, the probability of that happening. So, they flipped the cards. One of them had pocket queens. I'm trying to think who it was. He's certainly not the one, hopefully one who called behind, because you may or may not want to call. I'm not an expert at this, but I don't think I would call with pocket queens like a pot that size on a 2-5 table. So one of them had pocket jacks. And then the other player, actually the one we are talking about, I want to say he had, I'm thinking like, was it king queen suited or something along those lines? I mean, it's absolutely insane, in my mind at least, to call a pot that size. You're not even you raise and then someone repopped, and then you're calling behind close to $1,000 on a 2-5 table pre-flop with king queen suited. It's not common, not that at least I know of. So this is someone who's playing patiently very well all the way through. And as it turned out, pocket queens took the pot down. Nobody had pocket kings. It's just surprising. No aces. The aces were on the table. Nothing changed. The hand didn't change after that. It was a big pot. And then, so this was, I have to say, it was bad play by this player. Was playing very well up until that point. And then, as a poker player, you understand tilt. You go on tilt and you don't play very well after you played a hand either poorly or there's a bad beat. If it's a bad beat, it's understandable to go on tilt, maybe. But if you played a poor hand, you want to just go take a break, have a cup of coffee or tea, and then come back later. It's best to do that. But it doesn't happen all the time, right? We are all humans. We are subject to emotions and whatnot, and it's no lesser on a poker table. So after that, it was pretty much downhill for that player. And 20 minutes later, someone who had a lot of chips got busted, right? And the reason I give this long-winded example here is because you have to have a lot of patience in playing poker. You build a reputation. After you build a reputation, you want to stick to it. You want to do your best to respect the reputation that you just built on the table. You play 1 or 2 bad hands. After that hand, people started playing differently. That player started looking at that person differently as a poker player, and then it didn't go too well for that person, and they got busted. This is just one specific example, but I think if you extrapolate that to life, reputation takes a long time to build, an extremely long time. It's one brick at a time. Over a career, you go to school, you go to college, you work for clients, you build companies, you start companies, startups, and grow. It takes a long time to build reputation. But it takes, as we all know, it will take, as we all, recognize, it's easy to, lose reputation in a jiffy. So here's my advice, unsolicited advice, if you will, to people. We all know that we need to take reputation seriously, like extremely seriously, right? We that's number one on our list of things that Snowpal as a company, as a product company, as a company also provides managed services. And if you worked with us, you know how seriously we take that. It's not me just saying it. You can check our testimonials and whatnot, right? But the point is, I've seen people, much like the player at the poker table, perhaps, you're having a bad day, a bad month, whatever it is, and you snapped. The thing with these days is everything is recorded, everything is, subject, it's in the open. So people don't even have the luxury of making mistakes as humans. So I say that be very, very careful. When you're angry, don't act in haste. You're sending an email, you're upset, just create the draft, but don't send it. If you want to tell somebody something, it's not very pleasant, record the voice memo, give it a day, come back and hear it yourself and see if you want to hear it yourself. As if somebody sent that to you, how receptive might you be to that? If the answer is no, or not an emphatic, I'll be all right, then don't send it. Don't send the voice memo. Don't share it. Because, people have, we as humans go through ups and downs, and we make mistakes, and hopefully we learn from them quick enough. But it's very important. I think this game that I was not part of when I was watching, it was a lengthy game. I think they played, it was a good 5-minute hand, maybe longer, lengthier. It's a pretty big pot. probably close to 10 minutes. And it told me that, even people who are good players, who can just have that momentary lapse in concentration. Maybe the person was thinking about something else at the time. Maybe they were distracted. Maybe they were on the phone. They came back to it. And then they ended up calling King Queen suited on a pot. Because I would have never, if you asked me to bet on that person's play and asked me if they would have played that hand or called behind, I would have said, no, absolutely not. He was playing beautifully till then. And then, okay, even if you did play a bad hand, how do you, you have to work to rebuilding a reputation on the table. It's very easy to lose it on the poker table. People are like, hey, you know what, you played all right so far. You played poorly once, maybe they let you slide. If you played poorly more than once, you that's it. People are going to play differently with you. Things change dramatically. But on a table, you can go to the next table. It's just you're playing for fun. If you're playing for fun, you're not a professional player. You can, go to a different casino if there's more than one in the area. Do whatever else you want to do, right? It doesn't hurt you. That reputation doesn't carry over for much longer. Whereas, in a career, at a job, it's absolutely crucial what you build. I've seen over the course of my career, people get upset, angry. I mean, it's all natural. But just, be very respectful. That's the key, right? Even if you're upset, it's all right. Be respectful to people. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone writes a bad query, bad code, not so great code. Maybe there's a poor design, poor architecture. We all live and learn. That's what life is all about. I mean, I don't want to sound philosophical. I need someone to tell me these things almost every day. My wife does it diligently, thanks to her. But I think I want to share the fact that, just as long as we have respect in ourselves towards other people, and we recognize that we have made those very same mistakes too. Look at your code that you wrote, how good or bad it was. Before you want to comment on code to improve code quality, sure, that's because you want to do justice to your product, your EPO, your client, your company, your business, your customer problems. Absolutely. I'm not saying, I would never say that don't share your opinions. Just do it respectfully. So that's all I think it matters. And then if you do a mistake, maybe you snapped, just like much like at the poker table, work your way to recovering. Don't lose it. Don't be on tilt, and it shouldn't be a slippery slope from that point onwards. I don't know. I felt like sharing this. Clearly, this is not a technical podcast. I should have said this is the top of top of the recording, but that's all right. It's nice and a little bit chilly, but it's beautiful and sunny in the DC metro. With this, I'm going to end this podcast. Talk to you soon. Thank you.